Hey all, welcome back to another Less is More. Gonna do a little funky locomotion today. This was a severe pain in the ass. I have not had a lot of luck with this mod pack just the last couple of days. Everything is fight me. It's like punch the face, kick in the ass, punch the face. This was no different. This is like the third design that I kind of came up with for this gate, and I wanted to put everything underground, but when it opened, of course, there's a giant hole right here, and then I would have had to have come up with some triple piston extender to get that to close. So I finally just said screw all that, trying to make it difficult, and I just made a wall, and we used the frame sliders. And then I was like, okay, how do I want to control this? Because I don't want to have to come up and press buttons, because it's not the fastest thing in the world. This is not a drawbridge or anything like that. This is pretty slow. So what I did is I came up with, I did have the test rack just in between them. I was going to do something slick, but they're so close together that was really difficult using like bundled colored wires and everything. So what I just finally just said, okay, well, let's just make this really easy, and we'll use computer craft. So what we have is a computer right here. This is going to be a time-sensitive gate. The computer. All right, if you're not familiar with funky locomotion, these are the frame blocks. These are what get moved, and these get moved by sliders. Let's go to funky locomotion. This is everything in the mod. It's not a lot to it. I don't know what this is. What is this? I don't know what that is. You have a pusher. This is your basic one. There, you need this to make everything else. I made a couple of each because I didn't know what I was going to need. So I wound up with two of each. Well, not this one. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what the booster is. But even though you see like different frames right here, they're actually all the same. Once you modify them, and you modify them just with a wrench, just clicking them will kind of put the cover on them. So when they're like this, nothing will stick to them. These blocks won't stick, or if you don't do that, anything that's attached to that will get moved. And if it can't move like a slide across here, it'll lock up if it's unable to move. So you need to make sure anything that you isn't free to move, that you've got it covered. I think, yeah, every side on this one is blocked except for the top. I might as well block that too, just for looks. But I did it mainly for looks, because if you don't block them, even though I've got like the other side blocked, if I unblock this side, I can see through it, but the other side you can't. So it's kind of weird. So I just go ahead and block them all off. You do need to make sure that the inside, the side that's these two blocks are touching, this I found out, they need to be unblocked, or they'll just slide right off. Sometimes, not every time. So that's real annoying. It's not real difficult. It's a pain in the ass to figure out what you want it to do. I hate jetpacks. So you can see this top one here is pointing in that direction. It's going to slide all the way over. If there was not a gate there to block it, if that gate wasn't there, this thing would slide all the way over. So this one would actually be right here, or right here. So it wouldn't be able to touch it again. Same with this one. That's why I've got another block here, because it would slide all the way over. And you can get around that by adding like an extra block on one side or the other, but it just aesthetically it looked dorky here, because what it ended up doing was leaving a hole right here, and I didn't want to do that. So this is what we came up with. So this top one closes it, this bottom one opens it, and it's stopped over there. And the computer program not running is going to check the time, and if it's from 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning, it's going to open, and at 1900 or 7 p.m., it's going to close. So during the daytime hours, 6 is when you wake up if you go to sleep, and 19 or 7 p.m. is, well, it's actually like 6:54 p.m. is when you're able to sleep for the very first time. That's like if you're sitting there clicking it and it's like you're unable to sleep during the day. That's the reason why. It's because of the time. So a real quick, terminate that. And if we look at the program, it's not very big. I'm saying time. I'm telling the computer to set that variable as OS time, so it's checking the time. And then it's saying it's doing a while true do, so it's a continual loop. And if the time is greater than or equal to 6, that's 6 a.m., then it'll set the top to false, and it'll set this redstone signal at the top of the computer to false, and it'll set the redstone signal to the bottom to true. So it'll send a signal to the bottom, not to the top. It'll turn one. If there's one on the top, it'll turn it off. Now, if it's greater than or equal to 19, which is 7 p.m., then it'll do the opposite. It'll turn the top on and it'll turn the bottom off, and then that way it'll open the gate. So probably coming up pretty close here. It's checking, I think, every 6 seconds or so. So let's get out of this and then run it. And I don't know what the time is, but I know it's getting relatively close. And if I did it right, actually, I know it works in the morning. I haven't seen it do it at night, because usually I'm running over to get to my bed over there, because I don't have a bed over here. I may be in peaceful right now, though. I was kind of over in a test world. Am I in peaceful? No. Easy. I must not have clicked it enough. Or I clicked it too many times. There we go. So you can see now it's nighttime, so it's just going to close the gate. And now we're all sealed in and protected, and no hostile mobs can get in through the gate. And then when we go to sleep and then come back, this will be open because it will be daytime. So if we run over real quick, and we'll take the teleporter over here, let it do its thing. We'll do a quick sleep. Now you could do this with a daylight sensor and some redstone, I'm sure. For me, though, this was just easier to make a real quick script and get it to do this. So now it's daytime and it should be open already. Yep. So we open for business, but damn, there's some protesters outside. They don't like our... Get out of here, you hippies. So that's pretty cool. I may actually set that a little bit later. Maybe set that to 7, 8 o'clock. Give it a couple hours, you know. Maybe 6 was a little too early. Protesters are still out there. You make sure they're gone, burn up by the heat of the day and like real work. So there's our funky locomotion. And for me, this was, I know this looks really, really simple. However, what this does for me is this allows me to say, okay, I understand how these little sliding blocks work. Even though this is going to be a real short video, you have no idea how many hours. No idea how many hours went into figuring out how to get these damn things to work. I mean, I got them stuck on everything. I sat here, I will kid you not, for an hour, because it would come back, but it wouldn't go all the way back. And I was like, what the hell? And I kept checking and double checking to make sure I had all these damn things, and I would break them down. And finally, it was because there was an invisible block right here. I had placed a block, and then when I broke them, one went invisible. So I didn't see it, and it wasn't until I tried to run through it like an hour later that I realized there was an invisible block there. And I was like, man, oh, I hate that bug. So like I said, even though this looks relatively simple, and it is, I mean, it really is. This is a very simple design. Um, I really love the computer craft thing, though. I think that's pretty cool. You know, kind of like a open for business, closed for business sort of thing. I like that. That just came to me spur of the moment, so added that on there. Of course, like I said, I may adjust that time, make it open 7, 8 o'clock. Normal business hour, something like that, just to make sure nothing wanders in here that's still alive. Of course, I don't think there's really any shade that they're going to be running for in here, because those don't count. So it's not like he can stay in here, because that isn't going to help. Because those are micro blocks, so sun just goes right through those. So there we have our funky locomotion, and that opens up all kinds of possibilities for us. One being a frame quarry, which I have never done, not even back during the Red Power days did I ever do a frame quarry. And we do have mining wells in this, so it is a distinct possibility that in the future we may do a frame quarry. It may absolutely be overkill for this world. I mean, really overkill, but we'll see. I got to see. I may have to get the power together. I don't know how much those things draw. I may have to go check on that and see how. Eventually, we'll be on fuel power. I did finally get a refined bee, and they drop oily and petroleum combs. I'm not running any right now. I don't have any in production, but I do have 3 queens ready to go. I just need to set up some sort of production line for them, get them going and whatnot. And I need to get the steam boilers built up over in the power plant over there. You can kind of see the coal. Those are all coal steam engines, and then the whatchamacallit, compression engines right there. I'm not going to do this for that area when I get to building over there. When I finally get to working on that more, on the aesthetics on that one more, I'm not going to do this again. Actually, I'm going to do something a little different. I have an idea, but we'll see about that when we get over there. I'm going to leave this one here, though, just because I built it, and even though it's not the greatest thing, like I said, it's a little slow, but it'll do the job. So there we go. Start to funky locomotion. I understand it a little bit better, and I think it'll help us out in the future. New knowledge. Now, these are your basic blocks again, your frame pusher. It would actually push the frame from this direction. You see these little, the colored sides? That's the side that needs to touch the frame, because that's what's going to slide it. All right, and the same with the puller and the pusher. The puller will pull the frame, but it's going to pull it from this direction. So it can pull it from like 1 block away. I think your slider, if you want to move it any major distance, like the puller might be cool for like a door or something like that, maybe. But or the pusher, or both. You probably need both, a pusher and a puller. One to push it closed, one to open it. But for something this big, I think the slider is the way to go. I'm not going to do a major thing on this. Like I said, this is just going to be it. If you really need an in-depth tutorial on how to do this, I feel like that guy in South Park. Okay, then let me know and I'll do something. But this really isn't that difficult. Maybe when I get into when we finally get to the frame quarry, it's not going to be anytime soon, I don't think. But maybe I'll do it'll probably be a couple episodes building it. So, guys, appreciate you coming by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and rate button. If you haven't gone over to Twitter yet, make sure you follow over there. Leave me a comment. Take it easy. Later. Bye. Why you still here? Later. No, you hang up.